Page 35 of the song.
Oh. Did I do it wrong?
We corrected it.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. There's a holy rush among us. I sing glory rejoice. Surely the presence of joy is in this place. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. There's a holy truth in us that will never be replaced. Surely the presence of peace is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel His mighty power and His grace. There's a holy comfort in us that cannot be erased. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Do you feel that presence? Can you just kind of, this is truly a very sacred place. These walls, this redwood has just taken on the energies for over a century, and it's all here. And the presence of spirit and the presence of each one of us, it's all here. And you know, you wake up in the morning and there's dew on everything and it's a little chilly. That just tells us that it's fall coming on. The seasons are changing. And we pretty well, most of us have been around for a while. There's two young ladies back in there that haven't had that many experiences with season change, but most of us are pretty well down with it. And I wonder, how come we have such trouble dealing with the season changes of our lives? We have seasons in our lives that change constantly, and we just kind of resist and balk. It's worse than the time changes. We just resist and resist. And those season changes in our lives are just as necessary for the sustenance of our lives as summer, fall, and winter and spring. We have to go through the seasons of grief. We have to go through the seasons of joy and the seasons of what's going to happen next. We don't know. And the seasons of really feeling at one with each other. And the seasons of feeling all by myself and I don't know what to do. They're all different seasons of this life experience. And I think they are all just as necessary as the rain in the winter and the sun in the summer and the new flowers and the new floral of every year at springtime. So maybe we could just stop and think a little bit. Maybe we're going through a time of, I don't know, broken phones and disappointment and all the things that change in our life, and just look at it as a time, a season is changing. And it takes some getting used to it. But we can embrace it. We can learn from it. And every season has a purpose. Just like, what's his name wrote about in the Bible. There's a season, Pete Seeger wrote, there's a time, There's a season for everything. Turn, 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 turn. And so it is.
Well, that was a pretty darn good mini message. I was going to just stay where I was and never come up here. But if you believe, and I believe you do, because you wouldn't be here otherwise, possibly but doubtful, that there truly is a presence in this place. The presence is not in the building, although it has experienced many moments of presence being reflected here. But it's just a building. It's a great old building. But you bring the presence. The presence is here because you were here. I heard this a number of years ago, a long time ago, that when we speak, when I speak or you have the opportunity to speak, typically our inclination is, whether we want to admit it or not, is I want to in some way impress you when I speak. And oftentimes that is underlying of our intention. Most people, and maybe most of you here this morning, want nothing to do with coming up here and doing a mini message. And that is largely due to the fact that in your mind, as you view yourself, there is nothing impressive that I have to say, and I'm not going to risk looking foolish when I come up there. And that is the farthest thing from the truth. About 3 times a week on average or more, I go with my wife and I work out for an hour at CrossFit, which is just a regime of working out. And 10 years ago, when I started doing this as religiously as possible, I noticed something about working out. There is never a day that goes by that I don't go through my regime of whatever it is that day of physical fitness that I don't encounter pain. Somewhere in the evolution of the physical body, that physical exercise and working out goes from just joyful exertion to a painful exercise. And there are 2 things that are critically important to all of us as we hit our late 50s into 60s and totally every pass beyond that. There are 2 physical requirements that are really critical, and we deal with them each and every day, and that is being flexible and having balance. Now, if you let that sink in for a moment, you know that's true. Being flexible and having balance is way more important than physique and, how big our muscles are and how good we look. It's simply, I just want to be flexible and I want to have balance. There's a saying in the New Testament that says this: always be ready to give an answer of the hope that is within you. Now you bring the presence each and every Sunday that you come. And inside of you and inside of me, there is something that is there that we oftentimes can't put words to. It's a hope. It's the Spirit. And putting words to what that is sometimes, and maybe most of the time, is very, very difficult. But I do know this, that if we do not go through the pain of staying flexible to the world around us and listening and hearing to those around us, inflexibility creates in us I only am going to say something if it's going to somehow impress you. That's just being inflexible. because we all have something to say each and every day. And it could be the simplest thing. But when it's said in expressing the hope that is within me, and that requires me to stay balanced. I balance in my life. There's, you can't turn on the news and not hear something that knocks you off balance. And staying balanced in the spirit is that focus. Those quiet moments that we dedicate ourselves to, I could go on, but that's the topic of another mini message. So I'm just going to leave it at that you have a hope. And if you stay flexible and balanced in your life, realize that the hope that is within you is really something to share, and maybe more often than you might think, put words to it. Thank you.
Dick, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, good morning, everyone. And if you happen to be here for the very first time, I'm sure you are going to notice very soon and very shortly that we are just an amazing group of people. Just so you know. So, start off with announcements this morning. Next Saturday morning, we're going to have a party here. Free donuts and coffee and water. And it's a party. We're going to do some things while we're having the party. Sometimes they call it a work party, but it's not really work. We're just going to get together and have fun and do some stuff around here. Maybe do a little trimming and a little moving stuff around and just spiffing up a bit. It's fall coming on, so season change. So I invite you all to show up here about 9 o'clock, and you can stay as long as you want. We usually can get it all finished up by noon. But if you got a little bit of time to share, we'd appreciate it. It'll work out well for all of us. So that's on Saturday. Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, we have a board meeting in the hall. And again, there'll be donuts and coffee. We do a lot of donuts here. It's a health food. It's healthy. And it can put some balance in to go on to CrossFit. The donuts add some balance to all that super healthy stuff. So it's all about balance. So then on the 18th, I think it's the 18th, will be the ladies' spiritual book study. Is it ladies or women's? I think it's just women's spiritual book study. It's just it's one of those things, and I get it wrong all the time. Be patient with me. I'm not done yet. And but it'll be at 9:45 right here in the hall, and we'll go till about 11:45. And I think in September, I think that's about it in September. So anything other than, are there any more announcements? Oh, I know one. She just pointed a finger. Sabrena's having a birthday today. So let's wish Sabrena a happy birthday. Maestro, can you do a little of that, or just a key? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sabrena. Happy birthday to you. And so it is.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Okay. We all know people right now who are going through challenge, maybe kind of sitting there in the dark. They could use a little courage or encouragement, or letting know somebody that cares, that things are going to work out. And there's all kinds of challenges, relationship challenges, health challenges, money challenges, all kinds of things. And we've all been there in those dark spots. But we have the, I think, responsibility and the privilege to share the light and the healing and the love within us with the rest of the universe. So let's maybe speak some names of people we know that could use a little love and light. And together we'll send out to all those names we hear this morning.
Alice and family.
Man.
Tim.
Ron.
Annie.
Oh. Oh.
Anna and Baxter's family.
There's so many people, but we have infinite light and love. So let's take a few moments and send this precious gift of love and light that we have to wherever it might be needed. And we trust Spirit to deliver our light and our love to wherever it is most needed. And so it is. And not only the names that we just spoke a few minutes ago, but around this world there is so much pain, so much grief, so much violence. And let's sing together a song called This Is My Song and remind ourselves that we can share our love and light with those who think and believe way different than we do. They're still part of us. They're still human beings. They're still creations that are going through horrible things. And as we sit here in our comfort zone here in Sonoma County, let's send this by singing these words in the song. Let's send them our awareness and our love. This is my song, number 206 in the wings. There's two verses. Now, if you are here for the very first time, you are going to have the joy of experiencing a tradition that has lasted for 124 years as we greet each other in the traditional Church of the Oaks fashion. Good morning, good morning. Well, hello. I am very well. How about yourself? I was going to see you. Oh, she stands up like this. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That could be a long-term. That's right.
You know, when I think of about abundance, I always think of our greatest abundance is us. And we have two young members, our two youngest members, Emma and Sarah. Would you girls mind coming up? I haven't talked to you in a long time. How are you? You look so lovely this morning. Well, let me have a seat if you'd like to. What are you been doing? You went to the movies and you went to the park? So you watch movies at your house? You go. How about school? Are you going to school or did you graduate already? Going to school? What grade till you? You're in the third, second grade? So did you have a good summer? Did you get to go see grandma and grandpa and all that kind of stuff? You're also going to see them today? Wow,
Exciting.
that is so neat. I can't see my grandma and grandpa today anymore. They went to heaven, but I think about them all the time. You're so lucky to be able to have grandma and grandpa and see them. So what else is going? Are you going to be doing? You taking dance lessons?
And I had a rehearsal yesterday.
A rehearsal yesterday?
And the day before.
and the day before. Do you have time to even watch TV or anything? How do you get it all back in there? Oh, okay. Okay. Now, for some of you that may not know that, every week they pass out, they draw pictures, they color pictures, freehand, not coloring book stuff. They do, and they pass them out. There's one back there. Hold that up, Charlotte. That's what they do.
I have
And they
abundance
just
of
spread
fruit.
abundance
Oh,
and
nice.
joy and beauty and art with everyone. So thank you for being here.
Yes.
It's good to see you. Okay? Anything else you want to say? No? I put you on the spot enough. Huh? Okay. We'll see you next week. Have a good time with Grandma and Grandpa. But we are each other's abundance. That was, Dick was talking about our presence, and the presence of those two young ladies just changes the energy in our room. It just brings joy. It brings hope for our future. So let's read together, if we may, the affirmation of abundance on our order of service. To realize an abundant life, we must practice giving and receiving and gratitude. May we ponder that wisdom in a few moments. As we're thinking about this gratitude, I'd like to remind us to maybe say thanks when we get a chance to Sabrena and Ward and Dick and Wayne and Joy and Kelly and the people that offer the many messages and offer the meditations and play music for us. They do that just out of love and sharing. And that deserves our gratitude. It truly does. So, anyway, I have no complaints and I'm thankful for everything. Vivian used to say that, oh, I think I got it backwards, didn't I? Well, I'm thankful for everything and I have no complaints. All right. Let's go to the next thing it says. As we prepare ourselves for our time of meditation, let's sing together in the stillness of the silence, number 97 in the Wings of Song.
Good morning. Settle your body quietly in the chair. Imagine yourself rooted to the earth. Release all tension from your body back into Mother Earth. Deepen your breath to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold a moment and release with a sigh. Let's take 3 of those breaths. Releasing tension as you release the breath. Releasing distraction as you release the breath. The last 3rd breath, inhale, 1, 2, 3. Hold and release. Let go. Do you remember that you had planted yourself as a seed at the beginning of summer? With the promise of new life, you went to your garden patch and touched the ground, creating a root. You moved the soil and placed your seeds. You trusted in Mother Earth to support your seed as you grew. She provides all the elements we need for growth. There's warmth and light of the sun that beckons and asks us to reach forward. The seeds that you planted in yourself may be tranquility, stability, creativity, by the light of a full moon. You breathed and held faith in growth. Breathe again and see its fruition. Now breathe and watch your plant, yourself planted, preparing for a blossoming. Each of your blossoms is the show of a message of hope. Breathe in the promise. Breathe in the peace. And watch quietly. To conclude this quiet moment, reach upward, reach inward, and save a seed from your flowering life for the next fertile period of change. Hold the faith in life, the promise of growth in your hand. Asante to life.
Thank you, Joy and Wayne. I don't know how many of you happened to notice, but Friday morning at 9 o'clock, I think several of you got an Inquiring Minds email. That hasn't happened for a couple of months. MailChimp, that's the service we use for that. Once a year, they change their format. You have to look for everything again. And evidently, I touched the wrong button, and we couldn't send it for 2 months. I tried and searched. Thursday evening, I said, I'll try it again. And I found the right button, and I clicked on it, and all of a sudden it worked. So that, until next year, it should work pretty much every week. So in doing that, I came across, we started the Inquiring Minds about 14 years ago. And in that amount of time, I just looked at the roster this Thursday because I was going through checking everything. We've got 700 people on that mailing list. Since the time it started, 700 people have subscribed. And at the end of it, it says you can unsubscribe, just click here. So 700 people every week get this little paragraph of something to think about, for something for the inquiring mind to contemplate and ponder. So I was going through some of those older ones, and you'll notice the one this week was from Vivian Clark, who has left our presence, but her wisdom and her knowledge is timeless. And I will recycle her Inquiring Mind articles as long as I'm alive. And I hope whoever takes over after me, that job of doing that, will continue to do so. A brilliant, brilliant lady. And her wisdom is worth rereading often. But I came across something that I wrote back on the 8th of September in 2017. I was looking for a topic anyway to talk about this week, and I thought, this is pretty good, so I'm going to read it today. The physical laws that we are aware of operate in a space-time continuum. Things like gravity, weather, cellular reproduction, evolution, some of them may seem to conflict with what we often refer to as spiritual laws. But actually, there's no conflict. The only place a conflict may exist is in our incomplete understanding of the universe and the laws that govern it. The space-time physical world is part of our spiritual existence. The creative process does not divide itself into physical, mental, spiritual. There is only separation in our understanding of our universe and ourselves. There is far higher intelligence and power than our human senses can perceive. It is the source of all that we are. Our body is a tiny fragment of the universe, arranged in a very unique way but obeying the same laws as the rest of the universe. Some of us feel that, well, we have our spiritual self and our spiritual time, then we shut that off, and then we have our physical time. And our spiritual time, we feel very good and in sync with the universe, and we have great tranquility. And then when we put on our physical sight, then we can yell at the TV and scream at the people that pull out in front of us and take our parking place at Safeway. It's all the same light. It's all one. We have all these blessings and challenges in our life. We have the gift of being able to have spiritual awareness and spiritual experience. Some people don't ever recognize that, don't ever become aware of that. Other people do. And it's all part of our life experience. You know, some people have seemingly wonderful lives, and other people walk around just beat up all the time. It's just, we're all different, but it's all part of our individual life experience, is all part of the human life experience, which is all part of all life experience in our universe. And that's just what we're able to kind of perceive and think about. I don't think anybody knows the names of all the atoms that are identifiable in our universe. And certainly none of us can identify all the different things that exist in the unseen, all the elements, but it's all part of this life experience. It's all one. We are one. And I just get to thinking sometimes, I get so caught up in my physical, and then I get to feeling bad if I'm judgmental or get angry or feel lonesome, or those are all very typical human physical emotions and feelings. All of us have them. But there's a balance to that. There's a balance where we can kind of put all that physical chaos and all the doubt and all the judgment, we can leave it, sit over here on the table. It'll be there when we come back. And then we can kind of maybe go to a quiet place. We can kind of be aware of the now, of the beauty that's going on, of the intellect, the intelligence that is being discovered every day as our scientists and discovery people and research people find and figure out new things about these human bodies or this planet or this universe that we live in. All that intelligence, all that wisdom, all that energy has been there ever since ever. But we're still learning to discover and learning new things about this universe that we're part of. And I think so many of us, you know, I talked last week or the week before, I don't remember, and that's a common thing about us too, but about judging. And we don't have to judge. We don't have to judge anything. Everything simply is as it is. People do lovely things. People do awful things. Some days are hot. Some days are cold. Some days are diamonds. Some days are gold. Some things feel pleasant and some things feel very unpleasant. That's all part of the experience. And it's all part of all that is. And if the more we can just ponder that and be aware of that and learn to be comfortable with that, we don't have to be upset that we get angry or that we become afraid or that we get lonesome or that we get envious. Those are all perfectly natural, normal human feelings and emotions. but being able to have spiritual awareness, to sit down out by the ocean or sit down between a couple of redwoods, or maybe sit there with your pet on your lap and feel something that you can't describe, because there's no words in our language or in human language that can describe the feelings that you can have when you're in touch with spirit, with the divine, with something we can't begin to describe. We put some words on it, kind of to remind us, but describe spirit, describe God, describe the divine. I don't think we can. But we can be okay with it. We can be okay that it exists. And we can be okay with our perception, or the people in Timbuktu's perception, or the people on Tahiti's perception, or any place in the world. People have an awareness of something they can't see, but they know is there. And it can be called anything you want to call it. Doesn't make any difference, because nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just a knowing. And the more we can be okay with having this awareness of our physical and our spiritual, and they can bump together, and they can meld together, or they can bounce off each other. It's okay. It's totally okay. And we sit here and we think, oh, well, I'm having this and I'm having that, and gosh, I should be doing better, and I should be. No. You're in exactly the perfect place in your life. You're in exactly the right place that you should be. Sitting here in the pews this morning, you're exactly right. You may go out and run 3 red lights when you leave here. That's how it is. We all do, I won't say stupid things. We all do things that don't work out quite as well as we expected them to do. And I've said this lots of times. My dad used to tell me, I'm an expert at stupid. My dad, from the time I was this big, he'd look at me and say, that's okay, Patrick. There's no sense being ignorant and stupid if you don't let it show. And that's the truth. That's just, we've all got those parts to us. And we've all got the parts that can reach out and give somebody a hug. We got all those, we all got the wherewithal to tell somebody, I love you. I care about you. And when you hurt, I hurt. I feel your pain. I feel your anxiety. And is there anything I can do to help you? We all have that ability. We all have that gift. And we can all go home and beat ourselves up and think we're less than, do whatever we want to do. But we are no different than any other human being having those same thoughts. But remind ourselves, we are part of something that is totally undescribable. Inside us is the beauty that creates flowers that we can't recreate in this with all of our knowledge, that can create forms of life. We can clone stuff, but we can't make anything from scratch. That knowledge, that wisdom, and that plan, I don't even know if that could be a word in describing the divine and the universe and how it all fits together. Plan seems like that's kind of Weak word, because I can make a plan. And I think this universe is put together with way more than something that I can do on my physical self, on my little pea brain. But we're part of that intelligence. And please don't forget that. Just go to a place where you feel peaceful. Maybe lock yourself in the closet. You know, who knows where you feel peaceful? I used to have one son that would put himself in the closet. He said, I like it there. It's quiet. It's dark. He likes it there. We all have those little triggers, those little steps we can go through to shut all the noise off. Put your phone in the closet or in the drawer for a while. It'll be okay. The world won't end. Your life will go on. And just look around you. Watch the flowers bloom. Take time to tell the people around you, I love you. I care about you. I'm concerned. Take the time to shut off the chaos about paying the bills and you got to be here and you got to be there. Just, you are. Just be for a few minutes. Just be in harmony with all the rest of everything that is. It's a great place to be aware of. I don't know how to describe it, how that feeling is. But you all know what it is. You've all had those moments, those hours, those minutes. I remember a Christmas. It was the first Christmas I didn't spend with, I'll say, loved ones and family and my normal, comfortable Christmas atmosphere. I was down in Belize, and I usually came back to California and hung out with my buddies and my girlfriend, and I was in Belize. And my secretary and her husband invited me out to their place, and they lived out in a nature preserve. And there was no running water, no electricity. It was dark. There were alligators and wild hogs and poison snakes and everything all around. But we went out, and there were about 8 or 9 of us that went out there for Christmas Eve. And I was sitting there on the rock, and Zoe, my secretary, she said, Pat, there's a hammock set up down by the water, and that was on the Caribbean. And I went out and got in the hammock. And it must have been 11 o'clock at night. And I became aware of the divine. I did not sleep. I watched the universe as the sun came up in the morning. It was probably the most wonderful Christmas I ever experienced in my life. I didn't tell a single person, Merry Christmas, I love you. I didn't buy a single gift. I just sat there with the universe and was aware of the magnificence, the beauty, and the peace. It's all one thing. It's a one thing doesn't even cover it. It's just, it all is. And each one of us is an important part of it. Please remember that. Please think about that in any way you choose. Call it whatever you want. That makes no difference. Just be aware that we have the opportunity and the gift to have great joy in the physical world, to get a new car, get a new phone, find a new friend. But we also have the gift, the wonderful gift of being aware of just what magnificence we are part of. And so it is. We're going to sing the song Flow, Spirit, Flow. It's number 251, is that correct? 251 in the Wings of Song. And then we're going to go next door and have fellowship and tell Sabrena happy birthday, maybe 4 or 5 times. We can do that. It's a special day.
Maestro, if you will give us a moment to circle up in our family circle.
Family circle.
All right.
So that's actually